Hello everybody, how's everybody today? Okay, so the usual thing before we go any further, just let me know if you can hear me. And Louise would like to say something as well.
Please let me know if you can hear me.
And just let us know if you can hear us both before we go any further. Yeah, all okay? Cool. So, we come on a little bit earlier just to have a bit of a chat. Home sister, excellent, good. So let me just quickly go through what we're going to be doing come Saturday. Saturday here at 9 AM in the UK. We've got a link down. If you, let me tell, what can I say? Anyway, let's start again. We're going to talk about Saturday. Saturday we're doing our 12 hour. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, says James. Okay, James, I don't know why you can't hear us, but everybody else can. Have to turn your sound up, then you wouldn't know, would you? Okay, can't hear you. James seems to be having a bit of a problem. So you can hear me and you can hear Louise. So, hear you both?
Yeah,
cool, okay. James seems to be on your side. Yep, Amco's just replied. Cool. So before we go any further, Saturday, November the 7th, Louise and I are going to be doing another 12-hour marathon live stream. We've spent weekend, haven't we? And you haven't been very happy, Louise. You haven't been very happy at all working Sunday, have you?
Saturday, I can cope with Sunday. I had a right mump on me yesterday, didn't I?
We've been working all weekend trying to sort out the live stream for Saturday. We have been sort of behind the scenes getting together the timetable of the the timetable of the techniques, the tools we're going to be showing throughout the whole day. Louise has got some buttons she's going to press in a minute. It says, one should say timetable.
These are the ones you were trying to show me earlier?
Yeah, middle row, left hand side. So, okay. Yeah, so Louise will press a button now, and what will come up will be a link. That link will take you to Facebook at the moment, that's what we've got, and that then will show you the timetable. And I'm sure she can mess around with these links. I just put them in really quickly. So we've got the links to the timetable of what's going to be happening on Saturday. And also there's another link that Louise can press that says Facebook event as well. That's another link that you can click on. That will go to Facebook, to the event page where all will be revealed about what we're going to be doing. But it is not going to be on Facebook. It is going to be here on YouTube. We've scheduled the event already. So if you want to find that after the broadcast and go and like it, there's a little link under that scheduled video that you can click on that takes you to a world time website that then has all your times throughout the whole world where you are of the time that we're going to be starting to the time that you're just going to be in your country. I hope that makes sense. It's just very interesting reading all these things. Okay, so then we got the 12 hour. What else are we going to do? Oh yeah, we got lots of giveaways. As usual, we've got Matthew Durston, who's given us 2 rolling mills. I think they're Agile C130 mills. They're the same mills that we got over here. Let me see if I can get this little camera here on this particular rolling mill by here. It is going to be this rolling mill here. Well, not that particular one because that one's mine. Okay, so that is going to be the rolling mill that we're going to be having free. 2 of them from Matthew. Let's get that zoomed in. Perfect. We're going to be giving away 2 of those rolling mills. Obviously not to the same person, but one each. We've got disc cutters. We've got shank benders. We've got a really little, and a bangle forming die set. Forgot my bit of paper for the winner.
Oh, no.
Bangle forming die set. We'll have to email that lady and publicise that. So, and a very little special device that I've just had made up by Matthew, who that should be arriving tomorrow, that I'm going to be playing with for a project that we're going to be doing on Saturday. What else have we got, Louise? We've got
we've got a bit of a generation game for you now.
A regeneration game. Well, remember, what is it?
Oh, 2 rolling mills.
Yeah.
Bangle forming die kits.
Yeah. Yeah. Disc cutter.
The disc cutter. What else?
Shank bender.
Shank bender.
What's GRS going to give us?
Benchmate. GRS benchmate.
Benchmate's going to be a benchmate.
Come on, Andrew, think.
Guess one are going to give us?
Hammer handpiece.
Yeah, hammer handpiece to give away. Fordham hammer handpiece.
The beading toolkit.
The beading toolkit from Otto Fry. Yep.
Don't forget the vouchers.
The vouchers.
Vouchers.
We got Craft vouchers, HS Walsh vouchers, Otto Fry, Valor. Burkit, beading tools, Valor needle files.
Yeah.
Needle files. What else we got? What we got, Louise?
HS Walsh vouchers.
HS Walsh vouchers. Yeah. At the bench memberships, at the bench t-shirts, aprons. We've forgotten someone. New concepts. Now, that's still. Brian very kindly said yes, he will help us. I've asked him for lots of stuff. I've asked him for piercing swords. I've asked him for bench clamps. I've asked him for trivets, titanium strips, those shields that clamp on and go in front of you. I've asked him for all this. I'm hoping that he says yes. So that'll be such an amazing prize as well to give away. What else we got? That's about it. It's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot, I'm sure.
Die kit, the disc cutter, there was something else from Durston.
The Mangle Forming Die Set, disc cutter, shank bender, two rolling mills, and also discount codes. We got the discount codes. We got discount codes from all the suppliers that have going to be kind of donating all these prizes to us. Discount codes, sort of various percentages off. The discount codes for. I think it was Walsh we're going to do it. We got them from Guess Wine. We got them from Otto Fry.
Durston,
I think we got a 20% discount code from Durston that you will not get.
20%.
Wow, a 20% discount code from Durston that you will not be able to get anywhere else. That code will be good for about a week afterwards. Likewise, all the other codes we're going to be giving you that you can go to your favourite suppliers and get a discount thanks to us.
Do we send the prizes to the States? We can, can't we?
All the prizes will be sent wherever you are in the whole wide world, basically. So if you're in New Zealand, if you're in the world, we will distribute the prizes to wherever you are in this world. To be honest, sometimes I'm out of this world.
I was going to say, I was on this planet too, so.
So we are going to be doing a few projects. Because last time, I know time's getting on, we're going to hurry this up now. Last time we were sort of doing an hour segment, and really it was quite rushed to get a particular project or particular technique done within the hour. So we've sort of done tools and techniques. We're going to be doing a couple of projects. We're going to be doing a spinner-in project. We're going to be using the rolling mill, showing you how to use the rolling mill, how to use texture plates, how to solder the spinner rings. We've got a little device that we can flare the ends with, not just with a ball punch. So we're going to be making a spinner ring live, soldering and all that sort of thing. Brilliant, using all these bits of equipment. Then we're also going to be putting together, because we've had a lot of requests for soldering, haven't we? Lots for soldering.
Lots for rolling mill demonstrations, texture plates, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
They were the top two topics that people wanted to see.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So the soldering is soldering embellishments on, doing some granulation as well. So we got an awful lot planned. We got some product reviews as well. We've got, don't forget Pickup Media, the Gem Light box. We should be having a discount code for free shipping on that, which would be good. So we're going to be demonstrating that. We're going to be doing some marketing, social media, social awareness and that sort of thing whilst we sit down for lunch.
And we've got Michaela's, well, it's not really an offer though, is it? But it's, some social media advice.
Yes, exactly.
A course we can recommend.
Yeah, so Louise has been taking a course to do with Facebook ads, and absolutely amazing. It absolutely blows your mind. Michaela's the lady who's been doing that with Louise, and we've got that to offer you as well. It's not going to be free.
It's there is a free introduction actually, which you could probably look at. I'll see if I can find the link now and put it in the chat, but it's basically, she's a wedding photographer. Well, she's a photographer, but the course is based around advertising your services for weddings, which we thought would be handy. Obviously, you could bridal jewellery, engagement rings, wedding rings, that sort of thing. But the actual content, it goes way beyond that because there's an awful lot of general marketing, copywriting, Facebook ads in general, which is just so useful.
And retargeting.
Yeah.
So that's an absolute amazing course that Louise has been going on, and we'll tell you a bit more about that in the 12 hour. So, anything else we need to say before we start, Louise?
Don't think so.
Nothing at all?
I'm cold.
You're cold. I am boiling.
Really?
I am absolutely boiling. Let me just sort out a few things by here. We will see. All right, so it is Monday, the 2nd of November. It's 4 p.m. here in the UK, and we will now start our question and answer. Don't forget, this above my head here, if you can see it, it's www.atthebench.yt/12. So that's where you can go to get more information regarding the 12-hour live stream that we're going to be doing on Saturday. So everybody, please, can we just have a look at what's being put up into the chat now? Would appreciate it. And we are going to be going through some questions and answers very, very shortly. Just bear with us a second. Okay, so there we go. So everyone knows about the 12 hour. We've had the bangle forming die set. I've drawn the winner for that. I forgot to bring that round. I'm sure the name is Susan. Anyway, I'll let Susan know if it is Susan, and I'll also put it on a little film as well a little bit later on in the week, and I'll email the winner. So everybody, maybe have our first question, please, Louise.
Yeah, let's get started. Bridget is asking, I have two 16mm topaz round faceted stones which are double-sided rather than cabochons. What is the best method to set them for earrings?
Quite an interesting one, that. We are going to be looking at, let me try and get my mind into jewellery at the moment, because we just haven't been around here all week, have we? So let me think. So a spectacle setting would be a great way of setting them, because you have to be able to fasten the stone so it doesn't fall out. So I assume that a side profile, it's like a double cabochon. I presume it's something like that. So really, if you're going to make up a bezel, it can be an open bezel. You can use some barrel wire that would be that sort of profile. Okie doke. What then you may have to do is just remove a little bit of that step off like that to make it that sort of shape, so then your double cabochon will fit in there. So make up a nice simple, let me see how I can draw this. So that will be that, and then there's my little ledge inside, and there's the little step. So yeah, what I would make up is using barrel wire or bezel wire, this profile, then you can make up, this is an absolute terrible drawing. I just try to draw it, and I just really can't draw that. I'm a bit out of practice. Let me just zoom in so we can all see what we're doing. Okay, so that is the profile of the barrel wire that you can buy. It's more that shape actually. That's the profile. But if you make that around into a bezel, so the stone sits on the lip here, as I said, you may need to burr away a little bit down like that there, so the stone sits in like this. Then the stone can be viewed then from both angles, and I think that would be the quickest and easiest way. There are lots of other ways that you could do this by, I think we did a spectacle setting that actually opened up, and we did a bezel. Let me think I can do this. Yeah, we did a bezel that was that was the profile of the bezel. We soldered a square onto that side, then we had another ring with a hinge here that went on with another, yeah, won't go into that. Ignore that, I'm rambling. But the other way was far better, far quicker. That would be the easiest way of doing like a spectacle setting, so you can see from both sides. Louise, may we have our next question, please?
Yes, I'm going to give you a two-parter from Susan. Do you line your crucible before casting? Do you line your flask when casting?
All right, so yes, you should always season your crucible beforehand. You get a brand new crucible, it's all like, ooh, it's like an unglazed dish. It's like the clay, isn't it? So what you'd have to do is put that within your little soldering hearth on a few fire bricks, warm it up until it's sort of virtually glowing red, get some borax, get some powdered borax and sprinkle over the whole crucible. Make sure that it's completely covered, keep heating it. The heat then will melt the flux, the borax, and it should then cover the crucible. It must not have any little patches left. You should have a nice fully glazed crucible. There must be no gaps into it. If there are, keep heating, sprinkle more borax within that little area and make sure that the whole crucible is completely lined with flux. That way then your metal will not stick to the crucible itself. When it comes to flasks, when you say flasks, do you mean like when you're doing your lost wax casting in a centrifugal caster? Yes, exactly the same thing, because they're like the clay material, it's rough, the metal will stick to it. So again, you've got to season these products. If you have got a what's it called? Bench, do you know, brain's gone. Oh, it really has. The melting down, big thing. The melting down thing with a charcoal, not charcoal, graphite crucible in the middle. What's that called?
Why are you asking me?
Just thought you may have been genning up on things, yeah. Yeah, so if you've got the bench, the melting down, what's it called? Tell me in the chat. I can't remember what it's called. Bench. You plug it in, it melts the gold and silver in a graphite crucible. No, you should not put any flux within the graphite crucible. You don't need to do that at all. But a normal crucible, yes, and a flask, yes. Furnace, thank you. Easy word to remember. All right, I was thinking, yeah, just okay. So that's your answer. Thank you very much. Induction furnace, pretty much, yes, thank you. Yes, so you don't have to season the graphite crucibles that go into that at all. Thank you. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay. Jade is asking, have you ever used a hand milling diamond tool? And if you have, would you recommend?
A hand milling diamond tool? Yes. Is it like a diamond cut? Did I have one up here? Or did I give it to Jason to have a go at, but he didn't because he was too scared. I think, is it a diamond flywheel? I think that's what they mean, like a little diamond flywheel, but like a diamond cut on it. Do you think, Louise, is that what we're talking about? Do you think that's what we're talking about?
I don't know.
Read out the question again.
Oh, have you ever used a hand milling diamond tool?
Not quite sure exactly what you mean. Yeah, you can get like a flywheel.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
What is that? That one?
No, carbide bird, no. Diamond milling. Yes, what I thought. Yeah. So there's that. There's this, and then yes, within here, then you've got like a diamond or an edge that goes round like this, and you're supposed to revolve this in your flex shaft at around about 30,000 revs. The problem with these flex shafts, they only go up to about 20,000 revs, so you can just about use it, and this will impart a nice sort of a diamond cut groove and feature upon the jewellery. You can buy them quite inexpensively from places like eBay, and that's where I got mine from. You've got to keep your fingers out of the way. You've got to wear a flask. Oh God!
You want your coffee?
Can you imagine? Yes, I have. Yeah, you've got to wear eye protection, and you've got to wear a mask, and you've got to wear gloves. Yes, because if that diamond tip touches you, it'll just take your skin away. No problems at all. There we go. So if that's what you mean, yes. I should be doing a film on YouTube of that sometime over the next few months, because it is really nice. It gets a fantastic effect on it. Although because you're literally hand holding it, it's very awkward to get a precise, exact. There's a fly in here.
I know, it's zooming my head in.
It's very hard to get an exact, precise pattern unless you actually can strap all this down and do it that way. Anyway, yes, you can. Yes, I have, and I will do one film very, very shortly. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay. Mike is asking, does jewellery have a soul when it's made, or does it come from the wearer? Oh, I love this question.
Say that again?
Does jewellery have a soul when it's made, or does it come from the wearer?
Oh.
Because we often discuss this, don't we, about energies and things like that. I made a silver skull ring. When setting his eye broke the stone. When setting his eye, I broke the stone. Could this ring find its way to evil being born broken?
Because we were talking about, because you did
we often talk about this, don't we?
You did a blog on the Hope Diamond, didn't you?
Yeah.
On andrewberry.com. And it was quite interesting that it was supposed to have been bad luck.
It's partly cursed because it was taken from... It was
Louis?
Yeah, it was stolen. No, it was stolen before. It was stolen from India, wasn't it?
Okay, yeah.
And that's apparently what initiated the curse. But I'm not sure whether I believe in the curse necessarily. I mean, I wouldn't risk it. Even though the diamond's lovely, it can stay what it is. But I do think that people's possessions, India, absorb energy, 100%. Because we have things in the workshop, don't we? And some things you pick up and you just think, oh, lovely, and you don't want to put it down, and you can feel love attached to it. And then other things you pick up and you just want to put them straight back down again immediately because you just feel... You don't get that at all, do you?
No, I think that's a lot to do with the person who's on the receiving end of the jewellery, I think.
But then if you wear something all day or regularly enough, can you not conceivably...
I don't know.
Agree that it can absorb some of the energy of the wearer?
I don't know what energy a piece can absorb. There's no scientific fact, there's no scientific reasoning behind that, is there?
But then if a diamond is made of carbon, and we're all carbon, aren't we, essentially?
Yeah.
Can you accept that... Yeah. Thank you, yeah. Can you accept that it can absorb energy, negative or positive? I
don't think it can. It can, obviously light can pass through something, but whether
so why can energy not then? Energy can, we know energy can.
Has it been proved? I don't know.
We could talk about this in a bit, couldn't we? Yeah, I believe, Mike, that it comes from the wearer. Yeah, in short.
You think so?
Yes, definitely, because you can just sometimes...
You can, yes.
Yeah, you can feel when you pick it up, personally.
Okay. All right. Okay,
but you disagree, obviously.
I don't disagree. I can't disagree because I can't agree and I can't disagree. So I'm impartial with it. So I don't know how something can do that. It's like lots of things unexplained, isn't it? If there's a way of explaining something, well then yes, it can be reasoned with. If you can't explain how something works, I think it's very hard for me, it's very hard to believe.
So would you risk wearing the Hope Diamond, for example?
Yes, because I'd like to see if anything happens. That's
a hell of a risk, isn't it? Ripped apart by wild dogs, beheaded.
Yes.
Gangrene.
Yes. Well, if I feel something coming on, I'll just give it away.
Toss it into the ocean, is it?
If I feel a bit of gangrenous coming on, or feel a bit of death coming my way, I'll pass it on. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, can we have a next question, please, Louise?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. Does anybody know what is the best thing to use that will stick to a stone for setting?
Stone for setting?
Yeah.
Do they mean for moving it around for setting? Stick to a stone.
That will stick to a stone for setting. I think, Bill, you asked me this a little bit further down, didn't you?
Is it
trying to find out the best way to handle them.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's in the process of setting them. So
okay, so you can get things called a wax stick,
topaz, opals, amethysts, and some small diamonds. The small diamonds and to be the hardest to get in position to set.
Okay, so what, let me grab my tweezers. So what you can make, or you can buy, there we go, are little wax sticks. I've got a couple by here. This is a little bit of a wax stick that I bought. It's simple, a little bit of beeswax on the end, as you can see, and it's been mixed with some powdered charcoal. This is one that I made myself. Again, a little bit of beeswax, and you can buy beeswax in a stick like this, ideal for lubricating your saw blades. Take a little bit off, mix it up with your fingers, get it a little bit warm, get a charcoal block, get some emery paper on the charcoal block, wear a mask, don't breathe it in, rub it into your beeswax, and you make up what I call a boogie stick, because it looks like, at the end of the day, when you've been polishing all day, it looks like one big boogie, doesn't it? Or as you call it, buggers. Boogies. So I call them boogie sticks. And with this, you can come along and just pick up a stone. I don't have any stones up here, unfortunately. So you can come along, literally just tap that onto the stone. It's slightly tacky, although not really to the finger. And you can pick up stones with it. Likewise, you can put it onto a little stick like this, a bit of a skewer or an old burr, and you can use this to pick up the stone. You can pick it up, you can get it onto the setting, you can put it exactly where you want it in the setting. You could even sort of scrape off a little bit of this onto the stone so the stone stays within the setting, and then when you come to ultrasonic it or steam it, this would be blasted away. So it's a good way of keeping a stone in place if you do need to. But a boogie stick, a dopping, it's not quite a dopping stick, it is made out of beeswax. Something like that would be ideal for picking up stones. I think that is what Bill means, yeah? I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Maybe have our next question, please, Louise.
Yes. Okay, this is from Gillian. Have you made Mokume gane? Any hints or tips when working with it?
I haven't made it the traditional way. It's where you have alternating pieces of metal or four different metals, and you sandwich them all together and you clamp it, and then you put that within a furnace, and the heat then causes them to all fuse together. That would be the correct way of doing it. I've done a bit more of a cheats way, where I've put solder on each layer and then put them together and then heated them up until all the layers become soldered together. You could start off with, say, copper, silver, copper, silver, copper, silver. Then you solder all of that together. You can cut the thing in half and put they're called billets. Put that then on top of the other and solder that until you make a nice block. And from that, then you can hammer it, you can shape it, you can use a rolling mill. So I have done it, but I've done it the cheats way. It's not the best way because you've got a solder seam on every single layer, so you effectively see that as well as the metals. But I've never tried it the traditional way, and it is, you have like a stainless steel sheets, you have holes in the corners, you have bolts, nuts and bolts, you keep your metal completely oxide free out of the acid. You stack them up, alternating, stacking. Some people use 18 karat gold with some silver or some copper and so forth. Stack them up. You put them in the little clamp with the metal sheet, top and bottom, tighten the bolts, put it into a furnace. And when it gets to a certain temperature, the metals will fuse together. So you don't need any solder. And from that, then you can make, and that's called a billet, and from that you can hammer it, put it through the rolling mill. You can even draw the wire down, and you can make some gorgeous pieces of jewellery. There's some fantastic examples, but I haven't done it the proper way. Any tips? Just practice doing it with some solder, and just try do some sweat soldering. And I've done that on At the Bench already quite a few years ago, made up a nice ring doing it. Any tips on soldering it? You just make sure that you use a hard solder, and it's good practice. If you've got to have the sheets completely clean, flux the whole surface. You've got to put little bits of solder across the whole surface, heat it up, get your pick, draw it all over the surface, make sure the solder melts completely. Then you can stop, you can pickle it. If you've got too much solder on, you can file it off and so forth, and then put them all together, flux between all the layers, heat it up until they all then start the solder starts to melt. You can push them down with the tweezers or a block, something like that, so all the solder gets sort of pushed out to the outside edges, and that would be absolutely brilliant. But it's not the proper technique, but a cheats way of doing it. Next question, please, Louise.
Susan is asking, any way to clean up silver scrap for casting? I have heard using a reduction method may work.
You wouldn't necessarily need to clean up silver necessarily. Depends on when you say clean up. If there's oxides and things upon it, I don't think that really matters too much, because the heat is going to melt the silver and all the oxides then would perhaps come to the surface or get taken away into the crucible. So personally speaking, I've never cleaned silver and I've never really had a problem. If the silver contains things like stones or bolt rings and clasps and things like that that is within the silver, it's always best to take those out first of all. Although when you do melt silver down, if there are any bolt rings or clasps and there's springs and so forth, those will always come to the surface. If you swoosh it around your crucible, all those will get taken around and they'll be fastened into the crucible itself. Those won't necessarily come out, but it's not good to have in there. Likewise with stones, the stones will all come to the surface and they can always be dragged off to one side. So if I was casting with silver, me personally, I wouldn't try and clean it if there's oxides on it, because all those oxides are going to come off when it's melted. But if there's any stones or any springs in it, yes, I would always try and get those taken out before they go into the melting pot, because there's always going to be one little bolt ring that doesn't come out, that's inside the silver, that when you start to roll it down, draw it out, there's always one little sort of spring that just, and sometimes you have a gorgeous, nice bit of sheet and you go, oh my gosh, this sheet is absolutely rolling perfectly. And then in the corner, what you'll see is that in the corner, and that is a flipping spring that's got caught in the metal when you've been melting it down, and it hasn't come to the surface, but it's right there, or sod's law, it'll be right in the middle like that, and that would be disastrous to your sheet of metal. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay, Romy has a question about blade sizes. I've used 2/3.
2-stroke O?
It's 2/3.
What? 2/3?
I've used 2/3.
No, there isn't one.
2/3?
No such one. Or perhaps in size
Is
number 2.
this ideal for 14/16 gauge?
Oh, heck.
I've been breaking blades.
Okay. Louise, can you go onto New Concepts website? New, K-N-E-W.
I know.
Go onto New Concepts website.
Yeah.
On the front page on the left-hand side, there's Jeweller's Tools. You should be able to click on that. Scroll down. Jeweller's Tools and Source. Cool. Very down the very bottom of that page, you should have something that says very bottom. There we go. Whoa. Information size. Check them out. Left-hand side. That's it. Cool. Click on that. Can you post the link to the? Go down again on the bottom of that page, and that's it. It says download. So that is what you need. Copy that and put that in the chat, please, if you don't mind. So I'm telling you what to do.
Oh, sorry, size 2 and 3.
Okay, so what Louise is going to post on here now, this is a little chart that New Concepts has, and it takes you through what size blades you got to the thickness of the metal. The reason why I'm saying that is that over here in the UK, we don't work on gauges of metals. I got a little chart by here. And the general rule of thumb, what gauge did we say? Sorry, Louise.
14/16.
So 14 strat, so what's that? That is 14, half a mil, 0.4 to 0.5 millimeter. So 2-stroke O, I always use 2-stroke O or 3-stroke O. Those are the blades that I always use, and they're my sort of go-to blades. What you must remember, I'm not drawing a Christmas tree, Louise. It's a saw blade. Pathetic, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so all right. So the idea is you should have at least 2 or 3. Do you want some sweets? Sorry, I didn't give you a sweet, did I? Sorry. I'm having all to myself. There we go. Now the cola bottles. So the idea is you've got to have the teeth, usually 3 teeth, in contact with the metal. Some people say 2, but 3 is always a good rule of thumb. In contact with the metal all the time. It stops the metal chattering and you get a nice smooth cut. Look on New Concepts' table, download it, put it on your bench. It's absolutely fantastic little guide, little resource to be able, it'll tell you what thickness metal to the correct blades, or the correct blades to the thickness metal that you ideally need to use. But that would be the best thing to do, is download that. But 2 or 3 blades should be in contact with the metal in one go, and you'll get nice results when it comes to piercing. Otherwise the metal will chatter, or if you've got too thick a metal and like, what am I trying to say, too thick a metal and like 15 teeth in contact with the metal, you're going to be there for ages. So it's always a good rule of thumb, 2 or 3 teeth in contact with the metal at all times. And that's why sometimes if you've got a thin piece of metal and you've got your saw blade like this, okay, and you want to cut it, I would always try and put the blade going forwards, because by putting the blade going forwards, that's a terrible, and you saw across the metal, you've obviously got a greater area that you're sawing, and you can get away without swapping your saw blade out, and you can use like 3-stroke O for the majority of cases, just knowing to angle the saw blade. If it's a thin bit of metal, there's going to be more teeth in contact with the metal at the same time. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay, Lee's Silver Designs is saying, I'm in need of a gold solder. I have a 14 karat gold ring that's beyond repair. Can I use that to make solder for a 22 karat solid gold ring?
Well, no, because you should always use the same solder as the parent metal. So if you're using 22 karat gold, you should always have 22 karat solder. If you're using 18 karat metal, always use 18 karat solder, whether that be hard, medium or easy. So what you have to do, and I don't think you're going to be able to do this, what you'd have to do is you've got your 14 karat ring, okay, what you'd have to do, you'd have to try and raise the carat of that to 22. You're not really going to be able to do an awful lot with that. What you can do is add pure gold to this to raise it up to a 22 karat standard, but you're not going to be able to do that realistically. So what you could do is refine this to make it into 24 karat, and then you add other metals to that 24 karat, which would be, you'd alloy it, and then that would make then 22 karat solder. You're only going to get one melting point solder. So you have to raise this 14 karat to at least 24, which you're not going to be able to do by adding, because you've always got this. So the answer is no. I didn't want to just say no, you can't, without you actually understanding, because you can't use 14 karat to solder 22 karat, because you're lowering the quality of the 22 karat by using 14 karat. So you have to get the 14 karat to pure gold, then you add, and to be honest, it isn't really worth it. You're better off buying some 22 karat solder, albeit it is very expensive, but if you know anybody who has 22 karat solder, get them to sell you a little bit. That would be your best bet. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay. Billy is saying, I've read in a Facebook group that in the UK, if a clasp is stamped sterling silver, it's actually illegal to attach it to a stainless steel chain. Is that true?
Ooh, that's a real tricky one. I think you'd have to contact the Assay office for that. It depends on how you then interpret the whole item. What are you going to sell it as? If you're selling it as silver, you can't, because the majority of it is going to be stainless steel. If you sell it as stainless steel, then it doesn't really matter what clasp you add to it. So I think it's up to for interpretation. Some people have been saying the link crashes, is it? But is it okay? Does the link work, Louise? Yeah? Yeah, cool.
Well, it works for me.
That's okay, yeah.
Yeah, it works for...
Cool,
yeah.
excellent, everybody else. Yeah, cool.
It worked well. I don't know whether perhaps it's the browser, but it opens in Chrome.
It opens, cool, brilliant. I think it depends. So they're saying, is it illegal to add a sterling silver clasp to a stainless steel chain? No. I don't think it is. It's dependent on how you sell that chain. If you sell it as silver, yes, it is illegal. If you sell it as stainless steel, I see no reason why you can't. But perhaps contact the Assay offices over here in the UK for clarification on that. But if you were sort of having things hallmarked, with like if you had like stainless steel and you had silver with it, they'd have to be hallmarked as a mixed metal for you to describe it as. Then you have to describe it as sterling silver and stainless steel. But check with the Assay office just in case. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay, next question is from Natalia, who we haven't seen for a while. Welcome back, lovely. I was wondering where you get all your bullion from, please. I went to Cookson's but had a snobby woman tell me Cookson is only for hobby jewellers, which I thought was odd.
Yeah. Some people are strange in some of these companies. I would have thought you can order anything. If you go to Cookson, you should be able to order anything online because you can pay with your credit card. So I wouldn't have thought there'd be any problems with you buying from Cookson. If you do, use Betts Metals. B-E-T-T-A. Betts Metal Sales. I'm not quite sure whether it's .com or .co.
It's .com.
Thank you. Betts Metal Sales. They will sell you, but I think you have to register with Betts Metals first. They used to make you register first, but it doesn't matter. I don't understand why people have this. Some companies have this thing about it's only for hobby jewelers, or you can't have gold because you've got to have a VAT number and all that sort of thing. Because there's so many people out there who don't have VAT numbers who make a good living. Is it 85,000 you got to turn over now before you're going to have a VAT number? There's going to be lots of people out there who don't do that, who make a good living. So I don't understand why you get sort of the reaction like from the snobby lady, but try and do it online. See how it goes online. Next question then, please, Louise. I can't really help him much more with that, to be honest. I don't understand why that would be the case.
Maybe, like you say, just try some other suppliers.
Yeah, there's lots of others you can get. Just search. There's other companies. There's I'm not quite sure. The first company.
Had a problem with Cookson's, have you?
No. But there's lots of other companies out there. There's companies like Metal Law. One of the first companies I ever dealt with, actually, that was Metal Law. I know Walsh used to sell metal. I don't think they do now. As I said, Betts do it. And I'm sure there's lots more in this country that would do it as well.
It wasn't a Cookson employee who said that. It was a jeweller on Facebook. There we are, yeah.
Oh, tend to sod off. Sorry.
Language.
Sorry, no. Go for it. It doesn't matter. Cookson, So if you are a member of the Guild of Jewellery Designers, okay, if you're a member of the Society of British Jewellers, these are all can be found on Facebook, okay? Guild of Jewellery Designers, Society of British Jewellers, these companies have discussed discounts with Cookson. If you're a member of one of these, you've got to pay to be members, you can get discounts in lots of suppliers. Cookson is one of them. I buy my metal from Cookson. Am I a hobbyist? No, I'm a professional jeweller.
Was I supposed to answer? Sorry.
Yeah. Yes, Andrew, I've seen your work. You're still learning. No. So, you can buy your metal wherever you want. If you are a member of those there, you should be able to get a discount on Cookson's products. Absolutely. So don't believe everybody. Just go out and have a look. Just buy the metal. Did you say anything there, Louise?
No, I wasn't. No, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Let's go and do it.
Go with what works for you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next question, please, Louise.
Okay, Orpha is asking, have you ever used zirconium, the metal? Can I use it with the rolling mill without damaging the mill? How to solder it, because they say it can't be soldered.
No idea.
Okay.
Never come across zirconium. I've no idea. You have to find out what the hardness is on the Vickers scale. Vickers, not Knickers. On the Vickers scale, you looked at me. I don't know.
I didn't.
And double check, but I wouldn't chance it. No. And is 58 too advanced an age to begin a career in silversmith and jewellery? No! Absolutely not. I know we had a member of At The Bench, I don't know whether he's still a member now, from down West Wales, and he was in his 80s. And what was amazing, he joined At The Bench, he didn't know anything at all, and he produced this ring, and it was absolutely fantastic, and he'd never made anything in his whole life, and he's in his 80s, and he's actually producing this bit of jewellery. That's absolutely brilliant. I love that. Yeah, it's 50. What am I? 55. Good God, I'm still young. I'm still in the gym most mornings and cycling on the weekends. Yeah. Oh no, we got years.
Spring chicken.
Spring chicken, that's me. Next question, please, Louise.
Go for it, Stuart. Definitely.
Definitely.
Okay, so we've done the zirconium. Scrap Over Engineering is asking, what is the best way to get excess borax out of a crucible?
Okay, we did a YouTube film on this. Bill, zirconia is 8 to 8.5 on the Mohs scale, but is that the same as zirconium, the metal? That would be the thing. So you got your crucible. The crucible, I would tip the crucible up on its side, so it's like that, and there's like the pouring channel by here. Here's the, yeah. So have this, instead of having the crucible flat, turn it on its edge, okay? Heat it up with a flame. Here's my flame. My flame's getting worse and worse every single week. There's my flame. Heat it up. When it's on its end, all the flux in the crucible is going to become molten, and all that is going to dribble down. So we've got the crucible on its end like this. The flame is coming into it this way, and all the excess flux is going to all dribble down onto the surface. So I would have perhaps an old soldering block underneath, so all the flux runs out, and once all the excess flux has come out, there'll still be flux fastened into the crucible area here. So check out on on YouTube, because we did a film on it, how to remove the flux from your crucible. And if Louise has a 5 minutes and she wants to have a look on past films on, I'm not saying you can, but if you've got 2 minutes, just check out some of the films and then post it up if you can find it. But you've got enough to do, haven't you?
I'll certainly do my best.
Next question, please, Louise.
Okay, I have one. We answered Mokume Game, didn't we?
Yeah.
Toshita has asked, could you recommend a reasonably priced pendant drill?
Oh, there's lots of pendant drills out there. I have got brands. I've got some. I've got Seco, S-E-C-O. That's a good brand. Milbro. That's another good brand. For me, the best brand is Fordham. And I quite like the SR Fordhams. So all these are good. I would always try and go with a named brand. There's another one. I can't remember now for the life of me. I think my first one was a Seco, or Seco, however you want to say that. I must be more, but I got that one, I got quite a few of these as well. So yes, go with a named brand, definitely. Don't go for anything cheap and nasty. Just go for something with a named brand. Try and get something with an interchangeable end like this. This is the one with like a little flag, like a slip joint, because you then can change your hand pieces then to whatever you want. This is a quick release. You can get one with a Jacob's handpiece. Always try and think in advance. Don't just settle for what that will do now. Think about, well, okay, if I like what I'm doing and I want to progress with what I'm doing, and there are other tools and other equipment out there, you know, can I use the pendant drill for that? And things like the jump ring makers, a little the hand piece like this, which is the quick release hand piece, is no good. So if you've got a fixed handpiece on the end of the flex shaft of the pendant drill, you're stuck with that pendant drill. And that's the mistake that I made all the years ago when I didn't know much and there wasn't internet when I was a lad. It was that long ago. There was nothing out there really actually saying what is the best to go for. So always try and get one with like a slip joint or continental type fitting, because then you can get the, if I got the...
Thomas is saying he's got a second-hand dentist's cable.
Oh, yes, okay. Good, are they?
Cable's great, yeah.
Yeah? Do they?
Or W and H are the main ones, I would say.
Dental ones.
Cable, yeah.
Do they have interchangeable handpieces?
You might need... Do they have... Yeah, it depends on... you've got your... No, it's just a motor, isn't it? You don't need your compressed air for that.
No.
So, yeah.
So the handpieces come off, don't they?
Yes.
So some of them do, don't they? Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, so if you can get a second-hand one, yeah, you can get like the Jacobs chuck handpieces like this. That is absolutely brilliant because you can put different size, thickness, diameter shafts in there as well. So you can have your burrs and then your drills as well and so forth. And then you can also use that then in the jump ring maker as well. So think in advance. A second-hand one is pretty good. The good thing with the pendant motor is that you can replace the brushes. So if the brushes happen to wear away, you can always have them replaced. The shafts here, you can get replacement shafts. You can always get these lubricated as well, and you can do that yourself as well. So just do, as Frank is just saying now, buy the quality ones. So what they say, buy cheap, buy twice, something like that. But these are all very, very good brands, but I would always try and go for this, a Fordham SR. It's not the cheapest, but something like that would last you an absolute lifetime. And if you happen to not continue within the career that you want to go on, or you just want to sell all your stuff, well then something like this is going to be a better resale value than a cheap non-branded flex shaft. There we go. May we have our next question, please?
Can we all say happy birthday to Lorraine, please, before we have the
happy birthday to Lorraine. Yes. Happy birthday to you, Lorraine. Happy birthday to you. Next question, please.
Laura is asking, is it practical to make my own filigree wire without a rolling mill?
You can do by passing it through 2 plates, and I've seen it done. You can get, so you can twist it, so you'd have a plate that would be that sort of cross section, and you'd have like plated like that. Let me draw it that way, and there's a bit of a taper on that side. There's a bit of a taper that side like that. Okay, so that is, and then you have perhaps a bolt here going through and a bolt here going through, and you can then pull your wire almost like a draw plate. But the problem with the draw plates are round. You can get square and so forth, but not really rectangular. Can't remember. There's a machine that you can buy as well for this. But if you've got 2 plates like that, you could then get your wire and taper it. That's an absolute pathetic drawing again, Andrew. That's better. You could taper this and then pull the wire through, and it'll produce a flat top and bottom onto the filigree wire, which is exactly what you'd be after. So you can use a rolling mill to take it through, or that way, or simply just get a hammer and hammer the wire along the whole length. There we go, easy. But the problem is getting that plate. You have to make it. If you know somebody who's got some mild steel, they can simply make a little plate like that for you. No worries at all. Next question, please.
Okay, this is a suggestion from Paul. Andrew talks about the tools he has had for years. Maybe he could do a video showing the tools and if he can remember where they're from, for the newcomer knowing what are good and lasting. That's it.
What was the last thing?
Good and lasting.
Oh, lasting. There's a lot of the last thing. Okay, yeah. So, and the last thing.
And the last
it never came. Yeah. So, what tools I had originally? What tools I bought originally?
Show a video showing the tools, about the tools you've had for years.
Okay. And I still have. Yeah. I've made mistakes.
Just your staples, I suppose, that you've had for years. I think that's what Paul means.
Okay. All right, yeah. I can certainly perhaps do like a video of like a tour of the workshops, that sort of thing downstairs, couldn't I? And just show what I've got and I still got. And I had this back in the day, that sort of thing, yeah? Okay. Yes, I've actually got an old bench. I found my old benchmate. Look at this here. I found this today. I thought I'll bring this up because this is going to be really quite interesting. Yeah, this is my... Oh, wrong camera. There we go. So this is an old benchmate. Oh, gosh. This is the old benchmate that I had right at the very, very beginning when the first benchmates came out. It's a little bit dusty because I found it under the...
no memory card.
It is. It's okay now. Yeah, I pushed it. I accidentally pushed it to record it, but it came up. Yeah. So yeah, so this is something that I've got, and I've actually still got, and I've progressed then to the next stage and so forth. But I found that if you buy really good quality tools, they will really do last you. And there's some I've had some pliers here that I've had for, oh my gosh, must be about 20 odd years. And they're nice quality pliers, and I've still got them. Look after them and they'll look after you. Next question, please, Louise. Okay. That's sad, isn't it, really?
This is from Julie. Going to solder a friend's fine gold chip. Oh, sorry, I think I'm going to sneeze. No, it's gone. Sorry. Going to solder a friend's fine gold chain using easy gold wire solder. Not soldered gold before. Is there anything different to soldering silver I need to be aware of?
No, you can use pretty much the same solder. There's nothing wrong with that. You're going to have to be very careful on if you practiced on silver. You should be able to do it exactly the same. Some people will try, again, check out some of the films on YouTube that I've done regarding soldering the very thin chains. You can use the solder pick method where you don't even have to put the flame onto the link itself. You just use the flame to heat up the solder pick and then the solder pick to transfer the heat through onto the link. But it's no different at all, but you should really take care and practice before sort of starting off on a piece of jewellery. And yes, I'll say something at the end of this. Yeah, carry on. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry to bring this up, and I saw a film. Someone said, "Don't." Should I not say anything?
No, say something. But people have got their own
reasons
and their own right to. But then,
yeah.
I know what you're going to say.
Sorry, yeah. So it's really nice that you can offer your services to help other people, and I'm all for that. There was a film that was entitled "Don't Do Repairs." I found that really upset me. I found I have a lot of anger when someone says don't do repairs, and I totally understand where that lady was coming from. If somebody knows you're started making jewellery, you'll get all their rubbish and all their expensive piece of jewellery for you to fix, and you should never ever do it. But
the world be a sad place if nobody was preparing any jewellery.
Yeah, and even this lady.
Maybe we've taken it out of context.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
She said, do not repair, do not do repairs. And even...
It can be risky, but then if people bring things into the workshop and you probably one or two times out of 100, you'll say, I'm not doing that because the whole thing's going to fall apart. It's not going to end well. I'm not comfortable doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'll still refuse. But I think what the lady, wrong way around, they're just talking about, but what the lady I think missed was know your ability, and I think this was really, really important. This lady has written books on soldering. This lady is a very, very good jeweler, but she wouldn't do any of her friends' repairs. She will take them to someone else. But if she's that confident on anyone, is that confident on soldering to make something, well then you should be confident in all your soldering skills, whether it's a brand new piece you're making or something that you have just taken in off a friend that you're going to try and solder. Obviously, if someone says to you, oh, you've just started making jewellery. You go, yes, I've gone to evening class. I've done a couple of evening. You wouldn't mind making me this gold diamond set tiara, would you? So what are you going to do? You're going to go, oh, no, I don't know how to do that just yet. So you've got to know your abilities and your skills. So I think the title of the film, but she quite honestly, outrightly was saying to everybody on that film, don't do repairs. I have built my reputation on repairs. You can make a lot of money on repairs. You can make more money on repairs than actually physically making stuff, because if you make stuff to order, great, not a problem. But if you're making stuff to put into a shop and that piece doesn't sell, what a waste of time. But if you've got repairs coming in, it's cash flow. Money's coming in, you can do the repair, it's going back out. People trust you. And I didn't understand that. Sorry, rant over. Next question. Sorry.
Somebody, I think it was Bridget, said, as long as people understand what may go wrong, and we have, well, I know when people have brought things in and we say, well, this might happen, a stone might discolour.
Yeah.
And the customer goes, well, that's okay.
It's
and I get them to
anyway.
I write the whole risk down on the packet, and then they sign it as an acknowledgement with the date that it's a possibility, and then I suppose the risk is explained to them and they've accepted that risk.
And if you're not happy about doing something and you have doubts within yourself about doing it, well then yes, well then say no. But if it's like a simple solder on a chain, or if it's resizing a split shank, and you know about soldering, you know about the technique, you know the process involved in doing it, well then, yeah.
You've been dragged over the counter from you and hugged.
I've been hugged. We've done repairs. We have brought things back to life. We've restored pieces, and yeah, people have hugged us and pulled us over the counter. And I think one lady even put some money down Jason's top because she was so happy. That was the very odd occasion, and actually the only time when Jason actually did something well.
Everybody fainted with embarrassment. That'd be horrible.
Artists don't do repairs. Disagree. Sorry, totally, wholeheartedly disagree. Okay, next question then, please, Louise.
Okay. Where does Andrew get his hand buff mops from? That's a question from Paul.
Hand buff mop.
Hand buff mops.
Hand buff mops. Hand buff mop. Do you mean the mops that go in the flex shaft? If you're here in the UK, these look like these little woolen mops. We get these from a variety of places. We get them from places like Cookson, places like Betts Metals. We get some of them from Cousins UK. We get some from Proops. We get some from Moldero. Yes. Moldero. I think they're in Salisbury. Anywhere, as long, they're pretty much, I wouldn't buy them from eBay, or I wouldn't buy them from the Far East, because you don't know about the quality that you're going to get. Because if you spin these, some of these, and you know, my favourites, and I rant and rave about, is the white nylon brushes. I absolutely love these. I'm in love with these. These are the best types of brushes that you can buy. They're nylon. They're not goat's hair, they're nylon. And I love these to bits, but I would never ever consider buying these off, say, AliExpress, Alibaba and so forth, because there's lots and lots. Thank you, Bill, for that. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much indeed. Do appreciate it. And I'll talk about a charity now at the end of this. So I would always buy these white nylon brushes from a reliable source, like Betts Metals, Cookson, Cousins, I think it's Moldero. Can't remember the lady's name. I'd always buy them from reliable places, and that's what I do when it comes to all of my tools. You've got to be able to rely on the quality. So yeah, any of those places that we've been talking about this afternoon, you can simply go and buy the products because they're absolutely fine, and I have no problem. In the US, again, anywhere like that, you can, if you're in Germany, things like Carl Fischer, they'll always supply you with good products. Guesswine, Otto Fry, Rio Grande, any of the big boys like that would be fine. No worries at all. Yeah, nylon brushes are a lifesaver. They are Madge. Is it Madge? Now we've been discussing. Is it Madge?
I don't know.
M-A-J. Do we pronounce it Madge? Madge, let us know.
Or are we both completely wrong?
All right, let's have another question, please, Louise.
Okay. AC is asking, can you please advise me as to how to solder bronze jewellery using silver solder. I'm having issues.
Ooh, bronze. I've never really had much experience with bronze. I would assume that you could use flux. My always go-to flux is borax. Borax is the flux for me. Borax can be used on any of the copper or not even stainless steel. We talked about this before. Copper, silver, gold, and so forth. So bronze, yes, I'm sure. Silver solder on bronze is an arse. Thank you, Bill, for that. That's very kind of you. Yeah. So I think Bill said it all. Okay, next question, please, Louise.
Okay. Johan is asking, how hard is it to become registered with an Assay office?
Very easy. All you have to do is to approach them. You can do it all online, but again, back in my day, we had all the paperwork to fill out. You have to decide on what. You've got to make sure that nobody else has the same mark as you. So, for instance, my sponsor's mark are my initials, AVB. Okay, and that is within a surround that looks like that. Okay, so there's nobody else allowed to have those initials within that surround. So that is the way that you can tell who has made a piece. If you go to the Birmingham Assay office, or go to the London Assay office, or Edinburgh or Sheffield, what are you asking? What are you asking? Andrew Vera, thank you, Louise. It's not Vera, by the way. So as long as nobody else has the mark that you want, you can have basically whatever you want. Obviously, rude words and that sort of things, you're not allowed, obviously. But your initials, or you can have, you know, B. Bros, Baker Brothers, or whatever, put upon a sponsor's mark. You just have to apply to whichever assay office you want. You don't necessarily have to go to the one nearest you. You can go to Edinburgh. You can, if you like, you know, if you like the lion passant, go for that. If you like to have the anchor, go to Birmingham. If you want to go to Edinburgh and have the little castles, go to Edinburgh. It doesn't matter. They're all as good as each other. All the charges are pretty much the same as each other. If you've got one round the corner, obviously register with that one because you can take your stuff into them. And once you agree upon a sponsor's mark, the surround, you pay your fee, you can get them to make the punch for you, or you can have it lasered these days. So it really is easy, and providing you pay the fees, you can then have your own assay mark, which is fantastic. Then it becomes expensive because then you've got to pay every time you send an item to the assay office, which then starts to increase the prices. So just double check on what the assay offices charge you, whether you can, if you send it one piece, what do we get charged? We worked out if we send it one piece to an assay office, including the postage that we have to then incur sending it to them, it's around about £30 for one item. But if you send up 10 items, it's not going to be £300. It's maybe perhaps £35 or £40. So as the price then per piece then does come down. What are you doing, Louise?
I'm not doing anything.
Nothing at all.
Of course not.
Nothing at all. Okay, may we have our last question then, please?
Yeah, Dolores is asking about sweat soldering. Any tips? Having some trouble. Watch the live on Saturday. 4 o'clock is a 2-hour soldering and granulation masterclass.
Cool. Okay.
Which will be available to watch afterwards as well.
Yeah, so that's 4 o'clock.
So, yeah.
And we're going to be doing sweat soldering. We're going to be putting small pieces on top of big pieces, granulation, applied designs, and so forth. So check out the 12-hour for that. 4 p.m. It should be 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. We should be starting that. Next question then, please, Louise.
I'm going to pick one which I spotted, which I really want to know the answer to, if that's okay. Dennis is asking, what's the heaviest earring you can make?
It depends on the lobes, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly, but how do you know?
Okay, so when someone comes into us with a whole load of gold and they go, oh, can you make me a pair of earrings? And we say, we can't use all that gold. Yes, it doesn't matter. We don't mind what weight they are. We do have to say, well, there is going to be a limit on the ears, isn't there? And I suppose it depends on whether you want to leave them in all day or just wear them for special occasions. I don't think anything more than 5 grams is going to be wearable, personally.
Depends on the, because I remember Jasmine, my daughter, when she was little, she said her ears what do they call it, an otoplasty, because her ears were quite
sticky outy.
Yeah.
Bless her. Yeah.
And but even her lows would just pull and pull and pull. So she couldn't wear something like this because it would just. So it comes down to your anatomy as well, doesn't it?
I think it does. Yes. Because you see some people who have been wearing earrings for years and years, big heavy earrings, and the holes have become elongated in their ear.
Like in the 80s, and we all had the big, massive, dangly ones, and it was God knows made out of plastic or whatever, and Yeah, so I don't think there's a definite weight, but we wouldn't do anything more than about 5 grams. I think even if you make up like a little like a hoop, solid hoop, nothing more than say 3 grams that would be wearable every day. I think those in your ears must be about 4 grams, something like that. Yeah. They start to feel heavy by the end of the day.
Yeah, so that's what I agree. Yeah, 5 grams. Yeah, is about right. Yes. Okay, next question then, please. We have one more, shall we? One more question, please, Louise.
I didn't have another one ready. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like a sheep impression. You could do your animal impersonations on Saturday. Guys, we need some suggestions. I was saying, you don't use a luggage scale to test how hard you can put on your customers' ears. We need suggestions on your forfeits for when the donations come in.
Yes.
And we need to talk about
We do, donations. We'll come to that now. Yeah,
okay.
No problem. Next question. Last question then, please. Start switching.
Okay. Kristen is asking for tips or advice on sourcing gemstones. I recently purchased some cabochons from India and they are just glass. Yeah.
Now, this is quite interesting because again, I read the Facebook groups, and someone bought some gemstones from an auction house, and the auction house said that they were authentic, and he bought quite a few of them, but he found out that they were synthetic. They were just glass and they weren't actually what they said they were. Even though they came with little papers, the papers meant nothing. So you do have to be careful. So this is why I would never buy any gemstones off, say, eBay, for instance, or buy gemstones, I don't know whether AliExpress or Alibaba sell those sort of things. I would never buy gemstones from those places because, for a start, they may be glass. They may be things called doublets, which you would have. The top half would be glass, and it would be bonded and fused onto the actual proper stone down here, and that would be called doublet. Cheaper because it's not the whole stone and so forth, and things like triplets, but that's to do with opals. But you can actually still get doublets from Victorian time. But I would never buy anything abroad like that or from an unrecognised store. I would always go to a well-known stone dealer. If you're here in the UK, the stone dealers that we always use are called A.E. Ward. They are in Hatton Garden. You can ask them for 1 stone. You can ask them for 100 stones. Cunocraft. Yeah, if you're after stones on a smaller scale, you can go to a place called Cunocraft. Most places and Cookson will sell you stones as well. So always go to...
Ward won't, apparently.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. Okay.
So if you can't go to Ward's, Cunocraft are going to have some, Cookson are going to have some, and there's lots of other... there's a Mandy Ward up in, I think, in Birmingham, but there are lots of stone dealers out there who will sell you stones. You've got to be careful because if you buy cheap stones, obviously you know the normal, it's a terrible drawing, Andrew, again, a normal proportion of a stone. And a stone has an ideal proportion, culate to girdle, culate to girdle and girdle to table. These are all in exact proportions, should be, to get the best sort of look from a gemstone. If you buy them from cheap places, what you sometimes find is the bottoms are like this, completely rounded, which are really, really awkward when you want to try and set things within claw settings.
And you don't want anything with a right dodgy history either, like the Hope Diamond, do you?
You
Alicia Curse. Just saying.
Yeah, don't buy any diamonds that have been stolen from India, from India, or from Louis XIV, or anything like that. So yeah, so always buy from a reputable dealer. You always can go back to them and say, this stone isn't right, this stone is chipped, this stone isn't round, and so forth. You buy cheap stones, you're going to have so much problems when it comes to setting. Absolutely. It may not be round, maybe wrong cut, or even again, here we go, let me do this drawing again. Obviously, stones like this, what you may find is that the girdle will be thick, like that. And they're right buggers to set. So you know, a stone may look cheap, but there's a reason why it is cheap. So just take good care. There we go. And that's it?
Yeah.
That ends our 12 hour, really? Have I been on here that long? That ends the 1 hour question and answer. Yeah. Right, we are quickly just going to talk about the 12 hour happening on Saturday. In addition to all the prizes we're going to be giving away, we're going to be doing the prizes from Otto Fry, from Guess Wine, from Durston, from GRS, from New Concepts, from HS Walsh, from Kernocraft. I think that's about it.
Otto Fry?
Otto Fry, yep.
Did you say that one?
Yeah, so we're doing all this, and we're going to be giving you these products. You have to enter a competition. Louise is going to be in charge of that, and we're going to have competitions running throughout the whole day. That all we're going to ask you for is an email address and your name, and you can opt into our newsletter or you can opt out. Doesn't matter whether you opt out of the newsletters or anything like that, because that does not influence your ability to win. That's all we're doing. We don't ask you to follow or to share or to tag or to like, because that's such a bore, and it's not the right way to enter competitions is by forcing people to force you to begin with a chance of winning. So it's as simple as that. All we're going to be doing is asking you for an email address and your name at certain points throughout the day to be entered into winning GRS Benchmate system, disc cutter, shank bender, velour files, and so forth. So if you're interested in all these sort of products, you can enter the. Just about getting so excited. Enter the competition. Yes, Louise.
Sandra's asking, will the draws be done the next day like last time, or at the end of the marathon? I think some of them are going to be done throughout the day.
Yes.
So we're working on a giveaway schedule, aren't we?
Yes.
So you'll know which time frame you can enter the competition for specific prices, if that makes sense. So for example, I can't remember any of it now, but just making it up as I go along, which is not going to be this, say like between 11 and 1, then the form to apply to go into the
draw for the burs,
yeah,
will be within that period of time.
That will be drawn during the Q&A at the end of the masterclass.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
that's the plan anyway.
Yeah, and this is the reason why we've done this way, because last time we literally had an hour, and all you had was an hour to enter that competition. But now we're going to be extending that to sort of like 2 or 3 hours to enter the competition, because it was so much of a rush to try and get it all done within the hours, and it was a brilliant time, but it was quite stressful getting everything done within the time frame. So now we've given us about 2 hours to do like the spinner ring that's going to incorporate so many different techniques, so many different products, that then you've got 2 or 3 hours to enter the competitions. So yes, certain competitions will be required to be entered during the day, and we will draw it during the day. Mm-hmm. But there will be other competitions, for instance, like the gift vouchers that we're going to be giving away for Kernocraft, and for, thank you, Negotiator, $10. I really do appreciate it. Mark? Tom. Oh, please. Tom. I don't know where Mark comes from.
Mark is
Bully and Bully. Yes, I must remember that. Thank you. So the smaller giveaways, we've also got £100 gift voucher from Kernocraft as well.
Okay, so the Kernocraft giveaways, there's £100 Kernocraft voucher for one lucky winner. And there are 11 £20 Kernocraft vouchers. So they will be available to apply for throughout the whole day. Yeah. And they will be drawn on Sunday. We'll pop on again and do it again. Yeah. Not the whole 12 hours again, but just to announce a few more prices. So the Kernocraft vouchers, the Walsh vouchers, and the
Things like the t-shirts.
Yeah, we'll
and
draw
the
all them
aprons.
the next day. And the rolling mill, so yeah, they'll be available throughout the whole day,
Yeah.
those forms. And so will the rolling mill
Yes, the whole
raffles.
day. Yes.
Yeah, the whole day.
And they will announce that at the end of the
Please
night.
only enter once if you can. We understand sometimes if you don't, all the forms are going to be a bit more visibly different this time around, so you'll know straight away whether you've already entered that particular one or not.
Yeah.
But if you do accidentally enter twice, don't worry. If you enter time and time and time and time and time again and put in multiple entries, we will know. Yeah, for the same competition, we will know, and then you just get disqualified completely.
Yes, absolutely.
But if you slip up and it's once and twice, yeah, that it's easy to just think, have I gone into that?
But even if you do have perhaps multiple entries by accident, we will take out those multiple entries and you still be left with one. So everybody will get an even chance. So if you accidentally put in 2 or 3 entries, those extra entries will be removed. So everybody will have the same chance of winning. But
if you put loads in, you just get disqualified.
But as Louise just said, because it was quite funny, last year we had a giveaway for an At The Bench membership the night before, and there was one lady who entered 6 times on the trot, one after the other.
30 in total.
Was it?
Yeah,
it was a lot.
It was just proper.
That many.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
somebody misbehaving, isn't it?
So we disqualified her completely. So we understand mistakes, memory gets the better of you.
My name is Daryl, this is my brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl. No, we'll see.
Nice try. Anything else? Charity. What's the charity, Louise, that we're going to be raising money for this time?
Okay, the charity this time is Cancer Research UK. Now, we wanted to pick a global charity, but Cancer Research UK actually fund cancer research in 39 countries. 39 countries, so their fundraising does have a global reach, so that's why we decided.
So even though it has Cancer Research UK, it's not just UK based, it is throughout the whole world. Yeah. The money taken in will be given to the countries around the world.
Yeah, it's just a charity that affects, or it's just a disease that affects so many people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And one person has motivated us to choose that as the charity.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that is our chosen charity. Bill and Tom, thank you very much for the money you've donated. That money is going to be going to cancer research. So thank you very much. Do appreciate that. Absolutely fantastic of you. And likewise on the 12 hour, what we're going to be doing is, we did it last year, didn't we?
You've had 2 donations and you need to do something now.
They're not doing anything though, are they? We didn't know what we're going to do. So
I'll think of something.
Yeah. So what we're going to be doing.
Put your suggestions in, guys.
Last year, when there were donations, there was a little emoji that did little actions, and what I did was mimic those actions over the period of the whole 12 hours. I may be doing that again unless you can think of something different for me to do whenever a donation comes in. All right, and we can have a chat about that the first hour on Saturday.
You might need some sort of special equipment or kit or costume to do it.
Costume?
I don't know, do I? I've got to decide before. I've got to get prepared. Pennywise dance. Yeah. Yes.
So that is what the plan is on
handstands.
Saturday. I can't do I do headstands, but not handstands. But then we've got to move the cameras and move everything out the way. And the way everything is set up here, we don't really have much room. So it has to be just basically behind the bench here or even on the bench. Right then, I'm running downstairs for more stuff with your mic on. So there we go. So that's what we're going to be doing on Saturday. Stay tuned on social media for more things that we're going to be talking about, and that's going to be happening on Saturday. We've got lots and lots of prizes to give away, fun, laughter, excitement. We're going to get our snacks. We've got coupon codes throughout the whole day as well, and we've got lots of things for you to enjoy. Fancy dress. Yeah, push-up. I can do push-up. Yeah, push-up, but that's perhaps a push-up for every $1 that comes in one go, perhaps. Do a bit of a workout while I'm at it. Anyway, a shot, it wouldn't last too long, would it?
I'll take one for the team. No problem.
Can you imagine even that by lunchtime after 3 hours? Oh my gosh, everybody were there making sure the money comes in. So yeah, so all the money that you donate, and you can do that on the day by clicking the little $ beneath the chat, and you can donate money. All of that money will be going to Cancer Research UK. Sometimes, whether it be Google or whether it be YouTube, will take a percentage off that. What we did last year, we worked out how much money came in, how much money YouTube took off that, and I gave that. So all the money that came in went at that time to UNICEF, and we raised £1,632, I think, and you guys obviously raised that. So we do appreciate it, and I hope to try and equal that or even do better in total for Cancer Research. And the items that we're going to be making up on the day as well, we will be raffling for Cancer Research as well. So there we go. That's about it. Anything else you want to say, Louise?
No, just everybody have a great bonfire night. If you're in the UK, be safe.
Yes, and be safe and keep socially distant.
Yes.
So that's it. All I gotta say is thank you very much for that. Do appreciate it. We will see you all here bright and early Saturday morning at 9 o'clock GMT. Check the scheduled post film on YouTube, because underneath that there's a link to worldtime.com, I think it is. It starts at 9 o'clock and you can put in the country that you're in and it'll come up to say what time in your country we are going to start. So everybody, thank you all for coming on today. Sorry we didn't get round to your question. Do apologise for that. Vadim, £10. Thank you, Mr. Voyager. Thank you so much. Oh, see, that's it. See, this is what I used to do. Your little man's going, da, 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 da. This is what I used to do. Yeah, that's what I used to do. Do you want me to do the same, or do you want me to do something slightly different? Let me know. See you all Saturday morning, bright and early. We're going to get our snacks. We're going to have a fantastic day. Join us all then. Anything you want to say, Louise? Or was that about it? That's about it?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we will see you all Saturday morning. Keep a check out on social media for things like the coupon codes and exactly what prizes, when we're going to be giving them away. But in the meantime, have a great rest of the week. Enjoy Bonfire Night, and we will see you here bright and early Saturday morning. Take care. Bye for now.